All right, we're going to make this quick. We've had enough press conferences and media for the entire day as we're on to Iowa. But as I said in my press conference at the end of the game and inside the locker room, that this game ball, this is the one that actually Jordan Howden intercepted in the end zone. We have multiple game balls, right? But this is the one that he actually caught. And Tanner, the one that he had, is actually in my office. But this is the one that Jordan Howden caught in the end zone to basically put the game away. And when I got here, I said that it's going to take the whole state of Minnesota to get University of Minnesota Golden Gopher football back to what it used to be and to be able to restore the traditions of old. And we have a lot of work to do. By no means, Governor, are we where we're going to be, but it's a start. And anytime you defeat the number 4 team in the country, you're 9-0 for the first time since 1904, which there's a lot of things that have happened since then, and there's a lot of things that we could all talk about that happened in 1904. But 115 years, it's significant that this game ball goes to the state of Minnesota, and what better way to give it to the state of Minnesota than through our governor. So, Governor, on behalf of our football team and the entire University of Minnesota and all of our fans, alum, we just want to present the game ball from the Penn State victory, victory number 9 for the season to you and the state of Minnesota. So, congratulations. Thank you very much. Yeah, you bet.
Well, thank you, Coach. This was the ball that elicited that yell that you could hear back in Pennsylvania on that pick. I can't tell you what it means. We humbly accept this on behalf of grateful Gopher Nation. The excitement that you brought to the state, of course, the records, those are one thing, but it's the way you've gone about it. It's the professionalism. It's the sense of common purpose. It's a humble confidence that this team exudes, and you watch it wherever you go. You go into every quick trip, you go into a restaurant, you're in your workplace. People are asking where you were at when that happened. They're asking about what do you think is next. They're talking about the pig already, so Floyd coming home. Those are the things that build a commonality around a state that we get excited about. And so this state's values are being reflected in this team. We could not be prouder of what you've done. We'll display this and make sure as many Minnesotans get this thing around to let them see this. And I think you're right. I think you're headed on to things that someday they'll talk about, that this was the moment when those big things continue to go on. So we're glad you're in Minnesota. We're glad you're here. Go Gophers.
So folks, we have time for a few questions, then we'll move the podium out of the way and do a few more photographs.
Governor, the football coach and you ever think you'd be holding this ball in this room?
You know, no, I don't. I mean, this is amazing. This is something that, and the coach and this team have made those expectations. It's one thing to dream about it. It's another thing to put plans in place to make it happen. And that just workman-like nature that they've gone about this, I don't know if I'd have thought about it. I did told Coach that on election night for governor, said, have you ever been more excited? I said, it's almost exciting as winning the state football championship. And I think if you've been around this and you've been around this truly American game, there's something very unique about it and the character that gets shown. So I don't know if I could have thought about it. I'm certainly proud as a Minnesotan to see this happen, because you can feel it across the state. It's good things happen when you start winning like this.
What about when he quoted one Minnesota, your phrase, in that press conference?
Well, I love that, and I think that's one, is if you go back, a lot of folks have said that. I think that idea that you can create a common goal of showing, and this team's showing it, if you work together to solve something as something that's bigger than just yourself, you can get it done. And I think what the coach was doing was echoing that idea, one that kind of transcends politics and gets to the point of how do we solve these issues together. And I'm really proud of that. I'm proud to hear that say. And as a football coach, there's nothing more amazing than watching a well-coached team to see what happened on that. And it always comes back to the culture. It always comes back to if you've instilled in that and you believe, because the athletes on that field were pretty equal on Saturday. The heart was certainly on our side at the end.
Coach, could we get you to talk about that too, and why you decided to use that phrase, one Minnesota, attached to the governor?
Well, I do follow the governor, and I know that's something that's really big for our football program in terms of how we're going to connect ourselves to our community, to our team, to our university, and obviously to the entire state. When I got here, somebody asked, changing to the culture, and I defined that. Change is truthful listening, and culture is about connecting people. We have a different way of connecting people than maybe people in the past. Not that it's better or worse or right or wrong. It's just our way of doing it. And what we want to be able to do is be one Minnesota. And when I heard the governor say that, we just want to be able to echo that message, because this is a very powerful state. And we have very important people in our state. And we can do a lot of special things, especially in our game here, that we haven't done for a very long time. But again, football is not the most important thing going on in the state. It isn't. But again, we always like to say at the university setting that athletics and sports like this are at the front porch of it, because that's how millions and millions and millions of viewers can watch a game on ABC and see what the Golden Gophers are all about. And it just gives an insight to what the state's about. And we're just proud to represent the state, hopefully in a first-class fashion, by rowing the boat.
Interested in politics or work for another football coach?
Well, I know he's a coach. I know he's a veteran. That's way down the road. If I think of one game seasons, you can imagine how I think of my life is right now, and we'll handle that right now. So,
Governor, with all of your extensive history in the state and everything, have you seen a football moment like you did here with Minnesota, with the fans rushing the field like they did?
No, I don't think so. And as I've said, I certainly think that the Minnesota Miracle a few years ago certainly was a football moment, but these kind of transcend that, and they're more cultural. And I think many of you know I spent my youth in Nebraska at a time when they were winning, and to watch that. And I can tell you, you can see it and you can feel it here. And I heard the folks down there in Nebraska talk about that Nebraska used to look like Minnesota looks now. And so I don't think, for me, I've seen one like that. College sports, you put those young men out there on that, and the buy-in that people get to it, I haven't seen one like that. Certainly not. And we have fabulous football throughout this state. I was talking to Coach about high school, and our D1, our D2 programs, and some of those are highly successful. But when the University of Minnesota is able to play on the biggest stage at the biggest time in November and play with that confidence, and I'll tell you what I think is that's changed, and it's a little different. Penn State driving at the end, Minnesotans believed we were going to win. When they had the ball driving at the end, and Minnesotans believed, that's how you change culture, that's how you change attitude. And I think Coach's point is right. Football is not the biggest thing going on in the state, but a lot of things start with this idea of unity, of solving problems, the idea of coming together, and I haven't seen anything that brought us together like a state in a very long time. So I was thanking Coach for that. It's a gift that was given to us, and I think Minnesotans should enjoy it, live in the moment. Coach has already, as he said, the Iowa season started. His folks are out there working on that, but live in the moment and enjoy this. This is a big deal.
Governor, would you be worried if you had to go up against the coach if he decides to run for governor?
Yes. Well, I thought you meant in football. Yes, in both, probably. So I said what I like about it is I think those who are in this sport and watch it, that sense of developing a culture, sticking to it, setting out a message, and understanding that it's day by day. A lot of people hope for things to happen. Hope is a great and powerful word. It's my daughter's name, so that's why we chose that. But as my wife always reminds us, it's not a plan. So when I watch somebody, like I said, watching a well-coached team, it's very clear Coach leaves nothing to chance, and that sense of confidence. And it exudes off that, I think, in state. And those who would say, what can prepare you to do this? It's leadership, and you see it exhibited. And when you see humble, competent leadership, I'm proud of that. I think we would all do well with a little more of that.
Any other questions before we take some photos? All right, I think we're going to move the podium out of here.
Thanks, Coach.
Governor?
Yeah.